Hey everybody, this is Zach with Ruta Farm and Ranch. This is my son Wyatt. We're out here on the farm. We're going to give you guys a quick little equipment tour. This isn't everything that we got, but it's a pretty good idea of what we do run. It's a lot of older stuff. We're kind of a small family operation out here in northwest Kansas, so we don't have the big fancy new stuff, but what we do have, it works well, it's well maintained, and we take good care of it, so it takes good care of us. So let's begin. What should we start with?
I think we should start with the combine.
The combine? All right, let's go over to the combine. All right, so here's our combine. My wife and me, we purchased this here in 2021. For years, we custom hired all of our harvesting done for, since the 1960s probably. It got to the point where it was hard to find a custom crew to come and do this stuff, and it was getting so expensive, so we decided to buy our own machine. We bought this machine from a friend of mine about 60 miles away, brought it home, and it's been an absolute fantastic combine for us. We haven't had any issues with it. It's been well maintained through the shop. It's a little dirty right now. We just finished up with harvest here not too long ago, so never mind the mess. We haven't got a chance to clean it up yet, but it is a 1989 John Deere 9500 singles. We run 8-row corn heads on it, and then we have 25-foot flex platform back there that we'll use for Milo on occasion. We don't really mess with Milo much anymore, but we have a 28-foot Shelbourne stripper head that we put on it. But it's been a great machine for us. What do you think of it, Wyatt?
I think it's an awesome machine. It worked well for me. It ain't the best combine, and it ain't the one I like. It doesn't have a big enough cab, but it works. And
yeah, so it would be nice to have a bigger combine, but this one works very well for our operation.
Yeah, never had any fires on it.
No, and hopefully we never do.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on to the next piece. All right, so what's the next piece that we got here, Wyatt?
We got our semi.
And what do we call our semi?
Diamondback.
Yeah, this is Diamondback. And we'll get to the reason why it's called Diamondback here in a minute, but this is also a 1989 Freightliner FLD 120. Bought this up in Nebraska. Again, just kind of needed the extra support equipment for the combine, and it's been a great machine. Really, it's got its own little quirks, but got a big cam, 400 Cummins in it, 13-speed transmission, little short bunk, and the giant stack tips. They're kind of ridiculous, but it came with it, and so it's staying with it.
And it's really nice. Got a sleeper.
Yeah.
One of the lights is hanging from the wire, and it's not the best, but she runs.
All right, and over here we have our also 1989 John Deere 4555. This is our main tractor on the whole place. This is what we use for everything. We do our summer fallow and our planting and drilling wheat. We do everything with this. It's been we've had this tractor for we've had it for probably 15 years. My dad bought it after our old International tractor broke down, and we got tired of fixing it, so we got this machine instead. We've done a little bit of stuff to it. We got brackets on here for our saddle tanks when we're running the planter. I put auto steer system on it. It's an Outback system. It works really well. I mean, for what it is, it's not a Deere system like what we want to run, but eventually we'll get to that. What do you think of this tractor, Wyatt?
I like it. It's a very good tractor.
The cab needs to be a little bit bigger though, doesn't it?
Yeah, because
it's hard for us to fit, especially now we got Clyde. It's hard for all of us to fit, isn't it, buddy?
Yeah, and it's either Clyde and Dad or me and Dad.
Yeah, I prefer when you come with me because you don't stink like a dog. All right, should we keep going and show the next piece of equipment?
Yep.
All right, and this is the reason why our semi is called Diamondback. This is a wheeler trailer that we bought when we bought the semi. It's a hopper trailer. That's about all I can say about it. It gets grain from here to town, and it works for that. That's about all I can say about it. It's got some pretty sweet decals on the side. First load that we ever took in with our semi. And this trailer, the scale lady put Diamondback as a truck name, and it just kind of stuck ever since then. What do you think of it, buddy?
I like it. It matches in with the detail with the truck. It's always been a good truck, never failed out with us. We always had a lot of fun with it.
Okay, what do we got right here next to it?
We got a row head.
Yep, this is our John Deere 853A row head. We use this when Milo goes down. Like I said, we don't really do a whole lot of Milo anymore. It's very handy when Milo does go down, but my preference is I don't like running these. They're not a very user-friendly head. A lot of maintenance, a lot of bearings. You know, they got the star knives here. I think on each row, if I remember correctly, there are 6 bearings, and they are all expensive. These belts are high dollar, and you know, obviously 2 per row, but it works great for when Milo goes down, so we're going to keep it. We try to do a little bit of custom work on the combine, keep, you know, kind of the bills paid and stuff there, but it's good for, you know, I guess you can do sunflowers and soybeans and stuff like this. This is not soybean country. We are in northwest Kansas. Most of the time it's about as dry as a desert, but we do have good years, and we can raise some very good crops. We got really good soil. But anyway, continuing on, what do we have here, Wyatt?
We got our grain cart.
Yeah, this is a 700 bushel grain cart, and I have yet to been able to fit 700 bushels into it. You can really pile it up on there, but it's just hard to get that many bushels in it. But it's just one that we bought when we bought the combine. Needed to do a little bit of work to it. I put a new gearbox underneath right after we bought it, but it's been a very awesome machine for us, so we don't really have any complaints about it. It gets the job done, keeps the combine rolling, so that's really all we ask for. All right, well, what do we have here? This is probably your favorite piece, isn't it?
We call it a tandem.
Yep.
It has 2 gears, a 50-year-old truck.
Yep, I believe this old Dodge is, I think it's a 1973. We only use it for seed wheat. It's got a drill fill auger on the back we can maybe get to, but oh, my dad and me, we bought this probably 15-20 years ago, just for we got tired of shoveling the seed wheat into the drills. But yeah, we just strictly use this for seed wheat, nothing else. Eventually maybe we'll get some bins set up and we can store the seed wheat in there and use this maybe for some other things, but for right now, it's just seed wheat. And then right here next to it is our Shelbourne stripper head. This is what we use for wheat. It strips the grain right out of the head in the field, and not really running much for material through the combine. The benefit of that is we leave all the stubble in the field. That way it can catch snow in the wintertime, and it really conserves and holds moisture in the field. And that is super important for this area that we're in. It allows us to be able to raise a little bit better fall crops. You know, mainly corn is what we've been focusing on for fall crops. But kind of get underneath here and look and see how it works. But hopefully we can get a good picture of it. But it's got these teeth on here, and it's on a big drum. There's 6 rows of these. But they spin at about 600 RPM, and it just cups and strips the grain right out of the head. And that way you leave all the stubble out into the field to conserve moisture and to catch snow, and it just kind of helps shade the ground, and it works really good for that. All right, and what do we have here, buddy?
We got our corn head.
Yeah, this is an 8-row, 843 corn head with a poly kit put on. We got this obviously when we bought the combine. It actually came with the combine as a package. But I need to put a new floor in it. It might be a project video for this winter when we get kind of everything settled in. But yeah, I need to put a new auger floor in it, and just a little bit of small things, and she's ready to go. All right, buddy, what is this?
This is our John Deere skid steer. It's a really good skid steer. Helped us for a lot of years.
It sure beats a shovel, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it, like when we used to just, in the winter, we used to just use this thing with the forks, and we used to just go pick up bales and just take them down.
Yeah, well, we got something better to feed bales with now that we've had for a few years, but the skid steer has definitely been a lifesaver for the farm. This is kind of one of the first things that we upgraded to years ago. It's an older John Deere 270, 2-speed. It's not the Series 2. So if anybody's familiar with the John Deere early skid steers, this is actually the first series that John Deere ever manufactured themselves. Before that, New Holland actually manufactured the John Deere skid steers. But these things are kind of electrical gremlins. They compensated the lower flow with a higher pressure, so hydraulic hoses can be kind of an issue, but really it's been a fairly trouble-free machine. It's got its little quirks to it, but it's a very, very strong and powerful machine for what we need. It'll pick up about 3,000 pounds. I actually use this to move the planter in and out of my shed across the road. So we'll go over and take a look and see what we have over there. All right, so we're here across the road at our other shed. This is actually a World War II surplus hangar shed that my grandpa put up, probably back in the 50s. This is our bale bed. This is a 2002 Chevy Duramax. I've had this pickup for, I bought it in 2011. And it was my main pickup for a long time. And then when I come back from my previous job back to the farm, I decided to put a bale bed on it instead of feeding with the tractor and kind of wearing it out during the winter time. Bought the bale bed, put it on a couple years ago. We put the cake feeder on. Since we started caking our cows instead of running protein tubs, the cake has been an awesome addition, as far as feeding goes. A lot cheaper than tubs, and makes catching cows way, way easier. This pickup, I've put a ton of miles on it. It's got well over 300,000 miles on it and still runs really, really good. But like any older pickup, it's going to have some issues. But anyway, this is what we feed cows with in the wintertime. And we'll go over here into the shed and see what we have over here. All right, so here's our other shed. This is kind of what we use around the farm. It's not the most practical like a Ranger, but we have a Razor. I bought this a long time ago when we were going and having lots of fun at the dunes and stuff like that. And we still do that on occasion, but we keep it over here. Of course, our generator, when we have yet to get power restored back in here. But Wyatt, you and me, we've spent a lot of work in here cleaning, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
And we still got a long way to go. This building was so full you could not walk through it. We've taken a lot out, and the biggest thing was I wanted to get our planter in here. This is a 8-row 7300 3-point John Deere planter. There's our saddle tanks. We run on the tractor. It's a 2x2 fertilizer system on it. We have run the Martin Till coulters on the front. It's a pretty good system. The 2x2s can be kind of cumbersome sometime in the heavier stubble, but for the most part we don't really have too many troubles with it. We typically put down about anywhere from 12 to up to 25 gallon an acre of fertilizer down with the planter. Usually try to spray some on before the season, but this last year I did a little upgrade to the cast closing wheel system with one rubber and one Dawn curve tine with the drag chain also. I've been really happy with that. Our emergence has helped, went up quite a bit, and just kind of helps close the furrow when it is a little bit wet out there, but usually that's not much of an issue. But very happy with that system. I kind of want to go to 2 Dawn curve tines, but we'll see what happens in the future. And we can't forget Wyatt's farm cat. Tell us about our farm cat.
His name is Buddy. He's really spoiled. Most farm cats don't have a cat treat over a roof and have somebody to feed them every time they come out. So he's a good farm cat.
Yes, he is.
Helps us.
He catches lots of mice. He had a little accident last year where he got underneath my tire on the pickup, but he healed up from that and he's still catching mice. So he don't mind our dog at all. He's just kind of a good old lazy farm cat.
Yep.
All right, everybody. So that's kind of the main equipment around here. We've got a bunch more out there in the pasture, you know, as far as our sweep plows and drills, discs and stuff like that. And we'll show those in another video. But this is kind of the introduction of what we're trying to do out here. Like I said, we're trying to keep the legacy going of the farm. This farm's been in our family since the early 40s. My grandpa bought this just right during the war. He was born in 1916, so a long, long time ago. But what do you want to say, Wyatt?
Well, I just love this farm. It's an awesome farm. We had it for a long time. Like it's a real good memory. We're gonna run it as long as we possibly can.
Yep, and we'll keep passing it down to family upon family within as long as we can keep her together. All right, well, everybody, thanks for tuning in today. We're gonna keep coming out with some videos. We're just getting this YouTube channel started, so remember, like, share, subscribe, tell everybody, your friends, like this. Like I said, we're new to this, so we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna keep going strong. So follow us for the journey. Thanks, everybody. Bye.